Good day, my name is DJ Rebirth, and this is the 100% speedrun route for Viviette. So we're going to go ahead and hit play. We're going to load up an empty save slot, which is actually very, very important for RNG and puzzle solution manipulation. And we're going to count it down, 3, 2, 1, Viviette, let's go. So this is Viviette by DYA Games. This game originally came out in October of 2018 for PC on Steam, and it later came out 2 months later for Nintendo Switch, and that's where I discovered it. This game is basically a top-down horror game. I love spooky games, so that's what kind of drew me to it. But this game was created in RPG Maker, so it kind of... you can already tell it already has that like early 90s JRPG aesthetic to it, but it is a top-down horror game. It's very very clock towery in a lot of ways. The character models remind me a lot of the game Illusion of Gaia, which was one of my favorite JRPGs growing up. So we're outside of a hospital. Now we are, well, inside a hospital, and we are seeing a man by the name of Jules Fassat on the bed. And he just woke up from a coma. He's very amnesiac. The nurse is like, "Oh my God, Mr. Fassat, you're awake. This is great." And Jules is like, "Where the heck am I?" And the nurse is like, "Let me go get the doctor." So she's going to get the doctor. Hopefully Jules is going to get some answers why he's awakening in this hospital bed. And so he's waiting for the doctor to come in just so he can ask, what am I doing here? Why can't I remember anything? So, he asks the doctor, "Hey, doc, what's going on?" The doc's like, "You should probably talk to the detective." So now Detective DeVault comes in. He says, "Mr. Fassat, hello. I see you are finally awake. Well, I've got some questions for you as to the events that transpired." And Jules is like, "What events? What are you talking about?" And Detective DeVault's like, "You were on an island with your sister and your 3 friends, and well, some things happened, and I'd like you to jog your memory so we can find out what happened." And Jules is like, "All right, I'll try." So now we're flashing back to Jules's memory. We are now on an island, a deserted island with an abandoned mansion. This mansion was owned by an aristocratic couple, the Nevilles. So we're going to learn about their mansion, why it's abandoned, what's going on here, and what Jules was doing here. And well, Jules is here along with his 3 friends, who I will introduce. So first we have coming out the door. On the left in the hat we have Bryce, and on the right we have Tristan. So they're all leaving. There is Rory. He's a kitty cat, and that's his mama, Dion. And then of course there's the guy we're already familiar with, Jules. Everyone's already ready to leave and go to the boat, and Dion's like, "Hey, why don't you go get your sister?" Because his sister's here. Now the reason we're on this island is because Jules' sister, Felice, is a spiritual medium. So something actually called her to this island, and she has her little Ouija board, spirit board, what have you, on the ground. There's a bunch of scary paintings and statues all over the place, and basically Jules is like, "Hey, Felice, let's go," and she just totally ignores him, goes in the house, and then this happens. Welcome to Viviette. So now Jules has fallen unconscious after being spooked by a very spooky ghost. And then it's assumed maybe an hour or two have passed, and now it's very dark. He can't see inside the house, so he's like, "Oh man, I can't see anything. I need to go to the boat and get that alchemical lamp." So there's Rory, the kitty cat. Again, that's the last time we're going to see him alive, unfortunately. So now we're going to go ahead and go to the boat, and Jules assumes, his friends went to the boat. It's the last thing he remembers, so he's going to go to the boat and find his friends. So we're going to go to the boat, and hopefully our friends are going to be there. And no friends. Jules is like, "What is going on?" So we're going to go ahead and grab that lamp, and we're going to go back into the mansion. So so I have already submitted the any percent route of this game. The any percent route of this game gets you the bad ending, where basically Felice passes away, and your friends who are missing right now, are never found. The very good ending that we're going for, basically we do things to ensure our sister lives and our friends are found. So there are just a couple little extra things we do during this run. Nothing too... I like to think of the 100% category as a little like expansion pack to the ending percent route, because there's just extra things we do that's still on the way. So first we're going to examine this statue to get a puzzle solution. 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, and then 6. So there is an identical. We're just going to examine this pit real quick to get this window open. There's an identical statue in another room where we're going to have to enter those flame flames on certain numerical positions. So we're on this window ledge right now. You'll see that I stop every so often. It's because the wind is blowing. You can audibly hear it blowing. And when the plants move back and forth kind of fast, we need to hug the wall. If we move, we can take a couple steps, but if we move, we'll basically fall off and die, and we don't want the run ending. So we're gonna go into this windowsill. There are some opportunities you can move during the wind and actually go through a windowsill. You can grab this red book. And it's kind of funny because if you go through a windowsill while the wind is blowing, sometimes it will trigger Jules's death animation. He'll start tripping like he's falling, but the game will think that you're going through the window. So it's kind of a fun little way to, gain a few extra seconds and kind of cheat death in a lot of ways. All right, so we're going to keep going here. Now, we are on the opposite side of the mansion that we were when we entered it. So we're actually on the back of the mansion. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and go through here. We're going to turn our light on. We're going to go into this master bedroom. We're going to hear a creepy baby. We're going to enter a puzzle solution and get this emblem. Okay. We're going to fall down through this hole. Now that puzzle solution is related to a painting directly behind it. There's basically people with varying heights. So you basically press up or down, up if they're tall, down if they're shorter. All right, so we're going to awaken in this dining room. And there's our sister at a table. Her eyes are closed, but we found her. So we're like, hey, Felice, I found you. I've been looking all over for you. And come on, let's go. And she's like, I don't wanna. I want to stay here with my friend Viviette. Does that name sound familiar? So Jules' like, all right, that's cute. That's cool. Let's go. And she's like, here, first drink this tea. So Jules drinks the tea, and for the second time in this room, he falls unconscious. He falls unconscious a lot during this run. Well, he falls unconscious 3 times, and that's the final time he's going to fall unconscious. And by the way, we are live streaming this. So I'm going to interact with my chat just a teensy. What's up, Mushbrains? Good to see you. Yeah, this is formally my final speedrun submission for GDQ. So I wanted to formally dress for the occasion. So basically that solution we just entered in this hallway right here, there's a little billboard with crustaceans on them, numbered 1 through 12 with Roman numerals. Basically there are 2 out of order, and that's the clock solution. So now we're going to use this emblem on this statue. Because this is the 100% route, we're going to grab the emblem back. Now we're going to grab this key as normal. We're going to hear a poor unfortunate noise. That was Rory. We're going to see him in a sec. What we're going to do is we're first going to go through this door. We're going to use this key. And now for this 100% route, we need to read all the documents in the game. So there's 1, there's 2, and now we're going to use this emblem on here to get the emblem key, a key that was inside the wax emblem. And now we're going to grab this blue book, and now we're going to exit this room and head to the right. And there's a dead cat and someone holding a bloody knife. And kind of looks like our sister, but is it? Oh, it's definitely our sister, but her eyes are growing kind of crazy, and she has turned very murderous and very terrifying and laughing like a maniac. So what we're going to do is we're going to run to the right. We're going to go through this door. Now, if she catches up with us, it triggers a QTE sequence. Also, because this is the 100% route, we're going to use this emblem key. We're going to go into this courtyard here, and we're going to go to this hay bale, and we're going to push it. The game will do it automatically. All right, so this will come into play very later. This is a huge component of the good ending. There's still some other stuff we have to do, but this is one of the big things. So we took care of that. We're going to go in the kitchen. Hopefully our sister isn't there. Okay, she isn't. We're going to grab this bucket now, and we're going to go outside. All right, so she might be in this hallway. We're going to take it kind of slow. We're going to turn the light off. If we have the light off, she basically doesn't run at us as quickly. So it's good when we see her to have the lights off because she doesn't get alerted to our presence as quickly. You can also just walk past her and she won't see you, but obviously since this is a speedrun, we want to be running. So we're going to go to this well now. We're going to use the bucket and fill the bucket with water. Also, one thing I'd like to point out is you'll hear Jules hyperventilating quite a bit during this run. As you run, your stamina depletes, and your stamina is also your health. So if you're not running that much and Felice catches up to you when the QTE sequence occurs, when you're basically tapping A, and it might happen during this run, when that's occurring, you may have low stamina, basically, and she can mess you up real badly. So we're going to hope she's not in here, which she isn't, which is great. So we're going to go ahead and use this bucket of water on this fireplace. We're going to go straight away. We're going to go into this back hallway. You'll see if we pass past that barrel, some smoke / dust rises. Actually, one of our friends is under that. So if we do that 3 times, the barrel will fall and kill one of them. I think that's Tristan, actually. So we read that document. We're going to read this document as well. Got to read all documents for this run. There's a total of 14. So So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the cellar. We're going to grab this crowbar. And now we are entering what is actually the most dangerous part of the game. Felice can show up in this hallway, the wine cellar, and the back hallway, as well as the fireplace room and the hallway. Already around here, we're kind of depleting a lot of our stamina, so we want to kind of play it safe. We're going to turn this light off just in case we run into her. The good news is when she's in a room with us, the game will play kind of a noise. Yep, there she is. So we're going to do this and hope she doesn't catch up with us. Ooh, that was scary. All right, but we evaded her, which is great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to run to this little sawmill. We're just going to go directly southwest of here. And we're going to use the crowbar right here. Going to get these planks. Now, another thing I like to point out is that Felice cannot follow us outside. The beginning of the game, our friends go missing, but you know, and they're already outside, but during the actual run, during the game, as long as you're outside, you're safe. Obviously, everything you need to do during this game takes place in the mansion, so obviously, you know, you're only as safe as you know, the game lets you be. But we are safe right now because Viviette's position, or I should say Felice's position, I'll tell you why I called her Viviette in a minute, has now moved to the cellar. So we're going to run to the left. You'll see a spooky ghost kind of run behind these bars real quick. Blink and you'll miss it. There it is. All right, so we're going to use these boards. Oop. Going to use these boards. There we go. And now Felice is just going to run away. So we're now going to go in this room, and we're going to examine this little chessboard. There are some crustaceans and stuff on them. We're just going to push down these ones. There's a diorama actually in the wine cellar of all those, I should say most of those little pieces. So you basically want to push the ones down that don't appear on it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the right. We're going to unlock this door, and then we're going to go into this women's bathroom. We're going to open up the shower curtain. We're at this bathtub. We're going to scoop what looks like blood out, but the game actually calls it red mud. So this mansion was owned by, again, an aristocratic couple, the Nevilles. It kind of eludes me what the, I forget what the lord's name was, but the wife's name was Viviette. So basically what happened was Viviette was incapable of bearing children. She was completely barren. And so Viviette and her husband, you know, they went to a doctor just to confirm this. And sure enough, she was unable to, you know, bear children. Her husband really, really wanted to have children. So this kind of threw him into a rage, unfortunately. And so kind of around the same time, Viviette discovered that she was a spiritual medium, and she actually started, I'm going to read this document real quick. She discovered that, she's a spiritual medium, so she could see the ghosts of like children and other things. And she was, you know, telling her husband about this. And, you know, I think he kind of believed she was doing it to mock his madness. So basically one thing led to another, and he decided, oops, spooky ghost. That was definitely Viviette. He decided, I'm gonna kill my wife. I'm gonna shatter this mirror. Mirrors are kind of iconic during this run because mirrors play a big part in this game. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go upstairs first. We're gonna hang a left and hear a crazy piano solo, and it's being played by none other than our sister Felice, who has suddenly went from an inexperienced person who doesn't play piano to a seasoned pianist. So Jules is like, Felice, what the heck? You can't play piano. What is this? And she's like, I love this melody. Used to love this melody, but you never loved me. Get away from me. So basically, she has no idea who we are. She is clearly out of her mind. So now what we're going to do is we're going to enter that statue puzzle into this. We're going to do it very slowly. 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, and 6. The important thing is to enter it correctly. If you mess up the inputs, the puzzle solution, all the flames go out and the puzzle solution resets. So you're going to have to run all the way to the right. We're going this way anyway. But you have to run all the way to the right to reactivate this statue here and get a brand new solution. But because we did it correctly, we have no need to do that. So now we're going to go into this bedroom, which I like to call the doll bedroom. We're going to read this document. There's also a little diorama on that armoire of crows and a little man and a 3x3 grid, and that'll come into play very shortly. So we grabbed a crank. We're now going to go outside of the mansion. And we're going to hang a right, because now we need to cut down a branch with those plier cutters. So yeah, what essentially happened was Viviette's husband decided in his rage that he was going to kill his wife. So what he started to do was he started to build a dance studio at the rear of their home, and he special ordered two-way mirrors, and which was kind of crazy. Like, why does he need two-way mirrors for a dance studio? So here, we're gonna go in this little wood shop real quick. We're gonna grab we're gonna drop this branch on this conveyor belt. We're gonna examine this document down here. And again, with these documents, you do need to read them for the game to register that a document, let's turn this on, a document's being read, but you don't need to read the whole thing. All right, let's grab this cross key. Also, it's very important that we stop the saw there, especially for this, especially for the good ending, because one of our friends is actually inside that. I believe Dion is inside of it. All right, so now we're going to the right. We're going to solve a statue puzzle, which is actually one of the most complicated puzzles of the game, but because, again, we use that empty save slot, we already know the solution. And that's kind of the cool thing about this game, is that every save slot has its own seed. And so basically, like, 90% of the puzzles have the same solution. So I've done this route quite a few times with these this solution in particular, so we're pretty much good to go. So we're gonna go ahead and grab this puzzle piece. Now we're coming to everyone's favorite puzzle in this game, the Crow Graveyard RNG puzzle. Now I mentioned that there's a diorama in the doll bedroom that represents a 3x3 grid with crows on it. Well, this is it. So basically we have the crow on the, oh my gosh, woo! Well, for one thing, that was perfect RNG. Basically, we needed, from left to right, top to bottom, we needed, I've basically numbered those graves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the RNG that I received from that little crow diorama was 3, 5, 7, and then the little human was on 1. So that was literally perfect crow RNG. That is legendary RNG. I kind of hope this turns into a PB. I actually got world record on this route earlier tonight, so fingers crossed. So now we're back in the mansion, and Felice is having another Viviette meltdown. You know, why did you do this to me? Why? So obviously, what happened was her Viviette's husband imprisoned her in the dance studio and basically let her starve to death. He gave her small amounts of water because he just wanted to see her suffer. He just, you know, did it to spite her, and it's absolutely terrible. So with that, you know, Viviette died, and her being a spiritual medium, she turned into a very strong and vengeful ghost. How her husband got her in the dance studio in the first place, he used a little chemical that we discover on this paper right here. Blink and you'll miss it. I already missed it. I mean, I read it, but I blinked and I missed it. So anyway, we're going to read this document. We're going to go through this puzzle where we're putting books on the shelves from right to left, red, blue, green. There's actually a bookcase at the rear of the room that has different numbered books on it. So basically you need to match those. So we're going to read this document. Now we're going to get this small key, and now we're going to go downstairs. There's a lot going on in this speedrun. It's absolute madness. And the 100% route makes it even crazier. So we're going to go downstairs. Hopefully Felice doesn't show up, which she didn't, which is great. We're going to go in this greenhouse. We're going to grab this handsaw. And now we're going to go into the basement, provided Felice doesn't show up. All right, so far so good. All right, so we're going to go down and to the left. We're going to go into a little music room. We're going to use that small key we just got on this music box, and it's going to give us a little melody that we need to memorize. I always say the letters out loud so I can remember them. All right, here we go. A, D, D, F. Double A, double D, F. Double A, double D, F. A, D, D, F. A, D, D, F. A, D, D, F. Use the key. A, D, D, F. A, D, D, F. All right, so now we need to do that. A, D, D, F. There we go. We're going to read this document, which talks about the mirrors. All right, we're going to get this little chess piece. Whew, this is tense. We're almost there. We're in the home stretch. Not quite there yet. So now we're going to go into this room down here. We need to saw a head off a dummy to get one more chess piece, which is going to be this one. And the dummy with the hat on it actually has our friend, I think, Bryce in it. And so if you saw that hit that particular dummy's head off, it will explode in a big pile of blood. Oh my. Ooh, that is the most dangerous hallway. Hey, Mauler. This is our commentary run. So this is our big commentary run. It's our big commentary run for SGDQ. Mahler is hanging out in our chat. I'm live streaming this, by the way. I think I mentioned that earlier. And he is the current world record holder for the any percent run. All right, so now we're going to use some chess pieces. We're going to use the white rook. We're going to use the white knight. We're going to use the black bishop. We're going to use the white bishop. Then we're going to use the black knight. And we're going to use the black rook. Alright, got the big key. So now what we're going to do is, provided Felice doesn't show up, she's been pretty crazy tonight, so I'm very, very cautious right now. Okay, we're good to go. Okay, so we're going to go back on the windowsill. And take this very, very slowly. That was close. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use the big key right here. A ladder is going to appear. Okay, we're going to read this document real quick, and we're going to go upstairs, and we're going to grab this mirror. Now, I mentioned earlier that the dance studio had two-way mirrors in it, and Viviette basically watched herself die. So now she sees this mirror, or I should say Felice sees it. She turns into Viviette. She's like, no, give me that mirror. Get that away from me. And so a struggle ensues, and then she falls out a window. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the courtyard. Normally for the any percent run, you know, we just need to go to the dance studio. That's where the game ends. But because Felice fell and we're going for the good ending, we're going to go back to the courtyard now. Provided the wind is nice to us. Whew, that was close. All right, so now we're going to go to the courtyard. The hard part is over. Now we just need to get to the end. All right. So we're going to go to the courtyard now, outside of the kitchen. And look, it's Felice, and she landed on the hay bale that we pushed. So if we didn't push that hay bale, she would have landed on the ground, and eventually we would have watched her die. But apparently, good thing she didn't die. She's still kind of unconscious and out of it, but she's not dead. So what we're going to do is we're going to just have a little brief moment, tell her everything is going to be okay, and then we're going to go to her body, and we're going to get the master key. Very important for the good ending. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to the main foyer. We're going to read the second to last document right here. Okay. So yeah, like I said, Viviette was a vengeful ghost. She turned into, basically, after she died, her husband went crazy and created dummies. A bunch of just random dummies. And then Viviette, being the vengeful, strong ghost she was, there's a dummy right next to the door to the right. It just disappeared, by the way. Also, I didn't need to split there. It appeared right next to the door, and it just disappeared. So basically, it's implied that Viviette possessed one of those dummies and killed her husband, and then she's been roaming the halls ever since. All right. So now we found Viviette's body, and she appears in these mirrors. And actually, if you don't get the good ending, she appears kind of as a spooky ghost that she does in the very beginning of the game. But because we read the documents and we saved Felice, she's appeared in her, her better human form. Like the any percent, she still bum rushes Jules. She still bum rushes Jules, and Jules wakes up. So the same exact thing happens if you get the any percent ending. You still wake up in the hospital bed. But the good news is the inspector says, yes, that all adds up. Well, we're glad everyone's okay. If you get the any percent ending, the very bad ending, basically the detective implicates you for your sister's death, for your friends' deaths, because they were never seen ever again. But because everything was A-okay, the detective's like, well, you take care. Also, someone's here to see you. And in the any percent very bad ending, no one's available to see Jules. But because we got the very good ending, Well, look who's here to see us. It's our sissy bear, Felice. I almost called her Viviette. And, you know, she's ghost-free, you know, she is reconciled with Viviette, apparently. And, you know, she's very happy that everything is A-okay. Everything is grand. She survived, our friends survived, everything's cool. You know, they share a very tender sibling moment. And, you know, she, like, apologized to him that, you know, sorry this happened. He's like, ah, dude, it's cool. I'm just glad you're okay. So they just chit-chat back and forth for a little bit. We're button mashing like crazy, by the way. If you want a game to make your fingers burn with fire, well, this is the absolute game. My thumb is currently burning with fire. So normally the game would end here on the very bad ending after the detective arrests you, but because Felice survived, now the detective's having an introspective moment. He's like, ah, interesting. It was kind of peculiar what happened on this island. The Neville Mansion. Perhaps I need to investigate further. Mr. Neville, what were you hiding? And Jules, what were you hiding? So he's gonna go to his window. And we're gonna fade out, just like that. And we got 24:45, which is actually the new world record. My former run, I got 25:47, which was world record. I believe Mahler's world record for 100% run was 26:36, and I got world record earlier tonight. And wow, we got a world record during this run, so very cool. It's always fun when you do commentary runs and PBs and WRs happen. So that's so fun. But yes, thank you so much again for taking your time to review my submission for SGDQ 2020. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much again. I will be enjoying the event either in person or from my very comfortable couch at home. But either way, thank you so much again. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon. Bye.